Good evening, traders. This is E After Hours on the 11th of February, just reviewing today's trades. Our thought this morning was that it would probably be somewhat range-bound, waiting for more news to come out to move the market. And our first thought was fade the extremes and don't expect too big of a bounce or too much of a sell either way. And what we want to do is save our bullets for after news and to see if we got an extended range where it made sense to participate. We thought the 52 to 55 test was inevitable, and as we pointed out the other day, that was a significant level. 55 is where the year opened, and we said that we're going to move around that a couple of times. It's not going to be resolved in just one day. So our thought was buy the 52 to 55 zone if we got there, and if we got to the slightly higher high like a 68, 69, to fade that area as well. So we got a knife down coming into lunch and right into the rain line. Doesn't have to be exact, but this is an idea that once we get back up above this this bar right here told us forget it, we're not going south, that the 52, 55 was being protected, so we thought neutral. And then when it comes out hot at the end of the day in a spike, the idea here was if you were alongside, take profits 68 to 69 at that double top, and then come back in and look for a retest of that 72 to 61.5, which was the day's middle. At a deeper level, we thought this 120 chart would be the one to use. If we came back into that 52, 55 zone, the mid-uni should be supportive first time back and should get a kick. And then the third time through trade would be the one that takes out that 68 area. Basis the power chart, something like a 60-minute chart. We could see the cup right here and the handle, and if you looked at that 52.75, this was our exact support bar. We thought that the whole key to today's trade would be for this bar to either hold. If it broke, then obviously anything goes, coming back in to test below that. But that was our primary support bar. That's why we had this line right here to define it. You can see how it's been supported back at the rain line on this 60-minute chart. And we have been making higher highs, and this double top gets taken out third time through trade. The Globex 15-minute chart also gave us reason to believe that this was the right area to take profits. And on the spike, on the swing through, this trade had caught and trapped shorts who wanted it to sell, baby, sell. Got back up above, took out the high. We thought actually a megaphone made sense today, meaning take out the overnight highs and lows. And then on this push back to capture, by the end of the day, day traders who want profits causes a sequence trade to come back to the middle. And that's where we suggested that we might close somewhere in between that range in the 65, 66 area. So close out trades by 62 to 61 maximum at that middle. And then leave it be, because a lot of times it will be manipulated after hours. Thin volume, easy to do. And yesterday's trade, one of our traders had mentioned he saw a gap here in this 52 area. That gap is still intact. We felt that was the breakaway gap, really. As long as that was holding, that would be the support bar, this green bar right in here. That was our idea of support. And as long as traders could not get back through this area, they were still being held captive. And this is the so close but so far idea. And this bar right here tells us, okay, you're not going down, we're being protected. And here's that 55 we talked about, just to remind ourselves that that was an important marker. So above this 52 to 55, even 50, above that we felt would be bullish, but neutral, running into the 68 highs. And then after hours, obviously the push comes. So congratulations if you're one of those who bought and held on and were able to get into that 75 plus target. Turns out that was a 50% extension to get to the highs. about another 10 points above the high, knocking out a bunch of stops, I'm sure, and getting in very thin volume, being able to obviously stretch for new highs. We thought actually that 72.5 test made a lot of sense for sure. And then anything above that, obviously the good fortune part. And the third time through trade comes in above this 62 area. We had this point over here as the 72.5 area, so we thought that this would look like a head and shoulders kind of idea until we got above it. And we thought that the launch 100 points ago would be potentially to come back up and test this 68 to 72 zone. So up here into the 80s, we've got about 5 points away from a gap that's been left open at 85.5, and right now it's time for all the bulls to start cheering and crowing again, so it's probably getting closer to time to tighten up stops if you're long side and think about market trying to do a regression trade. And here's that swing chart that we've been looking at. Here's your 1, 2 double tops, and then the test up here to that 68 area. Here's your third time through trade, really back here. And then today, end of day, you can see how this idea held and grabbed and pushed up. In this yellow circle, we talked about this morning actually in pre-market study, saying that this would be the primary target. We thought that 75 zone for the boys to try to get to today. So great example of ditching wannabe longs, and then only the committed traders really get that trade. This is E signing off for this evening. Hope you had a great day. A reminder that there are a lot of traders who will claim to have captured all of these ranges. That's impossible. None of us can do that. We just like to analyze the market and then try to catch pieces of the moves as best we can. Have a great night. Catch you on the next one.